I've never seen any country which is so well prepared for the future as the UAE. Preparing for the future does not mean that you have understood everything, because it's the future, but the preparation is perfect. We got the Ministry of AI Future, I met him last year. We got the Ministry of Possibilities. You're prepared for any view, and now the engagement needs to be done. Now we have to move forward, but no country is prepared as you are. I can tell you, no country.
I agree with you. Having you with us in Food Talk and having you with us, I hope, in our future food edition, which is coming in October. Will give us really a chance to expose our ideas to all our members and how can this device change their future in terms of doing business, doing marketing, enhancing their sales and e-commerce, and giving their consumer a different experience to experience and understand their product. Sam, excellent, and welcome to our Food Talk podcast from the Food and Beverage Group. Actually, this is the first episode we have for the podcast we're launching with the Food and Beverage Group. To tell you the story of when Wahid told me about the initiative we're taking together, so he sent me a message telling me, Saleh, buy the device of the Oculus. So just to play it smart, I called some of my kids, please do the sales for me for this machine. They start laughing, you want to buy the Oculus? What are you going to do with it? I told them, for business. Baba, this is for game, this is not for business. How are you going to use it? So it was like a big shock for them that they are relating the Oculus mainly for games and for gaming. So to convince them that this is a business device which we are using it in the future was a new thing for them. That's a great opportunity really to sit with you today to explore the opportunities of how can we take the initiatives we're working together in and make it a business case for all our members in the Food and Beverage Group. So to tell you, Sam, about my background, I'm really been in the food business for the last 2 decades. So I've been seeing technologies, how it is evolving, and being in Dubai and being in UAE, it's an advantage. Because with Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid's vision and how he sees technology serving humanity overall, it gave us an advantage to go at the same speed of our government and how they are applying technology. And we've been seeing the food sector evolving. The way you farm, the way you order your food, the way you make your transactions, the way you market your food, and technology being always embedded in whatever we do. And soon, I think, technologies and digital and this transformation will touch every business in our life. One of the questions I have to you, Sam, before I give you the floor. People talk about the Metaverse for a window when Facebook have shifted and changed their name to Meta. But this suddenly you see the Metaverse stories and flavor coming into, I would say, slow phase. So from your experience, how do you see this Metaverse realities, what we're soon, will impact our life going in the future?
That's a very interesting question. First, thank you that I'm here and I can be here, so thanks for the invitation. Now, as you mentioned, just from the first beginning on what you mentioned with the device and how you see the device and why kids relate that so to gaming, there's a reason why. Because the history of Oculus and now Meta is a gaming device. But from a certain point, it has changed actually to a media device because you can do a lot of things. Besides gaming, you can watch videos, you can collaborate with other people, you can different experiences, but this is not really communicated. Most of the people still think it's gaming. And I think there's even a purpose why that is. Because if I relate the device to gaming, it's still not perfect from a technical point of view. It still could harm you because, motion sickness, And if I say it's a gaming device, I sell it to gamers, it's not a risk. If I sell it to, or not me, Meta, if I sell it to elder people and they have a problem, then it's a risk. So they keep the story, it's gaming. But of course, the future is not gaming. The future will be so wide range of functionalities and use cases. And when Meta changed the name, there was actually October 21 from Facebook
I
to
remember,
Meta.
yes.
Like, wow.
Was the
And
big
nobody had any idea what's happening there. Everyone was like, what is this? Funny. And finally, he invested a lot of money in that technology, in the hardware,
Yes.
in the software, in people, in infrastructure, in everything. But on the other side, there were some other guys completely out of the box. They grabbed the whole idea and did something different. You name like Sandbox, Decentraland, Upland, OpenSea, NFT. They came and they were like riding the wave of Metaverse, while Meta was silent. We heard nothing from them. We just heard Sandbox, real estate, virtual real estate, rich guys buy this crazy ape, no, the boring ape, the funky punky, whatever it was, yeah? And we were all like, NFTs and this and crypto. Metaverse never had a wave. At no time. At no time this was a wave. It always remained there. And then we had this super blow up from the crypto industry, NFT industry and so on. And then we had the breakdown. And then everything melted down. And everybody like, okay, it's over. No NFT, no value, khalas, that's it. Story over.
Nobody speak about it anymore. You
Yeah.
can't hear them.
Now everybody says like, I'm not in crypto. I have no NFTs. Okay. If you look all over it, it's a nice picture because somehow all these things relate to each other. Because before you look at this, you see you have a blockchain. Awesome technology. It is completely a new world of tech for us. Then you build the NFTs. NFT is not art. It is a coin which is a proof of ownership. It's a non-fungible token. So either people think it is an artwork. No, it is a system how you can prove that you own something. And this can be used in any case. Dubai is approaching very fast for real estate, so on. So the blockchain. Then we have the idea of crypto, which is fine enough, digital currency, which is the base for CDBCs, central bank digital currencies. So this has this rule. Then before Metaverse really popped up, AI came. Then OpenAI, ChatGPT. Now everyone's okay, now it's AI. Okay, now everybody's an AI, yeah? Beside all this happening, these devices, by fact, had been sold more than 25 million units.
25 million.
Million units in the US. And it means 25 million units are in 25 million households. But nobody talks about it. I guess more than the half is not used. Because lack of content. You know, because it's very gamey and a lot of people bought the device. It's not so expensive actually. It's cheaper than a phone. But the content is missing. So in Europe and the US, you have an industry, especially on training education. So the main companies which are currently working on devices, training. On-site training, really like training in fire training, police training, stuff like that.
I totally agree with you, Sam, that some industry really took the opportunity and used it. Media, marketing, training. But I'm saying to have that kind of user cases is still in the making. You don't see it really, you know, getting the full potential because, see, the way, even our food and beverage group, when we start talking about digitalizations and how to manage data, we came up with the UAE platform. That the idea was, how can we create a platform when all the stakeholders who work in food can get together in this ecosystem, speak with each other, share knowledge, brainstorm, take opportunities, and make sure that they can grow these ecosystems together. And what makes us really lucky is being in the Dubai, mainly, and the UAE. You know, having the Museum of the Future, having the government support, willing to try new things. This is, you don't find it anywhere. It's not only supporting, it's really working with you hands in hands to create the unknown future together. And where you see business, government work together in unleashing the potential of the future, you don't find it everywhere. But this is where I feel Metaverse and what can bring to humanity is big. But how to identify the user cases for people to have the confidence that this could help their business grow, make them healthier, wealthier, and give the maximum potential of the advantage what this future can bring to them. Is identifying, I think, the real user cases is where we need to work together in identifying, and as I always say, walk before we run, case by case. And this where you build confidence in the user.
Very interesting what you said. Just want to tell you something. This is the reason why I came to Dubai. And since I'm running that business, I've been looking so hard to find anyone who is as brave as your organization is. Because, you know, we have been doing a lot of things. We have been building spaces for Mexico, for Brazil, for Spain. We have been covering insurance companies in Europe. We have been doing from banks. But it is not enough to build something and put it somewhere and hope something happens. If I build a house in the desert and I don't tell anyone, nothing will happen. If I make a restaurant, I have to bring people. So, but we were always looking for a brave organization. And I don't know how, we found one. In your organization, we found an organization who was brave enough to walk forward, because we have the knowledge and the experience, and we have the ideas, and we know what works. You have the braveness to say, okay, we walk the path and we use the technology, because there's like from the progress, very interesting. Collaboration is a wonderful thing. Working in VR is a different idea how your brain receives information. That's the nice thing, you know. Whatever you see in VR, you can remember. Who you meet in VR, this is an event happening. If you leave the space, your brain has memorized everything. So the way you really take information into yourself works 10 times more efficient than anything else. But it's important that you establish a certain procedure. It's not enough to say, I'm here.
I build this up, then that, yeah.
You need a procedure. And to talk about the UAE, for example, I started to negotiate with the Ministry of Culture, which used to be the Ministry of Culture and Youth. We had some POCs running on the GITEX, on the COP28. And after 1.5 years, now we are starting really to build something. But it takes time. And we've been running POCs here, POCs there. Everybody's fascinated. But it's so important that if you walk the path, you say, okay, I want to do this. You go forward and you establish certain procedures, establish use cases, pull your members in, give them the chance to use that technology and take the positive out of it. And then you will win the game. Because no one was brave enough to say, okay, I'm doing that. Because the opportunity you have in there, they are limitless.
But when you talk, Sam, about the procedures and the regulations, are you talking about a UAE alone, or are you talking about a global procedure and regulations for the use of Metaverse? Because that's a bigger challenge.
Yeah.
This is, at least it's a control area where we can try to push the idea forward. But when we talk about a bigger scale, and as I said, we're lucky here because we have a Minister of Artificial Intelligence. And we have a government like UAE government and Dubai government who's pushing to utilize digital into day-to-day operations. You know that we have a director of AI in every government department in the UAE.
Yeah, I know that.
That is little bit really putting, I think, the infrastructure to bring something like what you were talking about and put it in use.
I've never seen any country which is so well prepared for the future as the UAE. Preparing for the future does not mean that you have understood everything, because it's the future. But the preparation is perfect. We got the Ministry of AI Future. I met him last year. We got the Ministry of Possibilities. You're prepared for any view, and now the engagement needed, and now we have to move forward. Yeah, but no country is prepared as you are. I can tell you, no country.
I agree with you. And having you with us in Food Talk, and having you with us, I hope, in our future food edition, which is coming in October, will give us really a chance to expose our ideas to all our members. And how can this device change their future in terms of doing business, doing marketing, enhancing their sales and e-commerce, and giving their consumer a different experience to experience and understand their product. This where I think we need to work very hard together to make sure that we have the right user case to show it to our members. We expect more than 1,400 people to attend Future Food in October. That's a great chance for us to be ready at that event.
We have actually prepared already a concept how to present the experience, and we will find a way, because I think the biggest challenge is how do we showcase the transition between real world and metaverse, and that these both worlds can interact, and we will be capable of showing that. And you see, currently, as far as I know from all the enterprises we talk to in governments, most of the companies are seeking for information. They're seeking for knowledge.
Data.
Really, they want to know what can be done, but nobody knows. Nobody helps them. Nobody has a concept. Nobody has a proof of concept. And the way we walk forward now, because we'll present something which will immediately make everyone who attends understand, okay, this is what I can do. And then there are different verticals you can walk away. For example, digitalize the assets of the food business and beverage. Having all the assets, all the products which are actually sold as 3D assets available. That's like step one, the asset database. Because you will need the assets later for product placement.
True.
Because if I have assets in a 3D world, I need 3D assets. And now think about, now other worlds get involved, and now you can use the assets and place them. You can even put them in games. But if today...
Gamification.
Yeah.
This is a big thing now.
Yeah, gamification. And I mean, if let's say one company named X, does not has its products available in 3D, that is like, there's a problem, because we could place them in a game.
True.
We can start to move our products in the digital world from different views. And the most important part is we have to step forward, step one, because 90% of all the ideas, we don't even know yet.
I agree.
We have I'm sure 90% we have not even talked about what will be.
I totally agree. See, for any member or any company, food companies, they will look into, I would say, 2 to 3 things. One is how to generate more revenue. So how can we enhance their sales? Either by giving them an easier, more interacting sales journey, or reducing their cost, or reducing their waste in terms of how can they make more money out of whatever they're doing. But I would suggest that we look into these 3 areas: more revenues, less cost, better efficiencies into their operations. And this brings me to the bigger event we are going to have in November, which is the Global Food Security Summit happening in Abu Dhabi. That is a global event, which is much bigger than what we're doing in Future Food, because we will have a lot of international organizations, different countries and government will be attending and finding solutions toward the biggest challenge human face, which is food security. Food is a very important element of any community. But how can we make sure that the food is available in the right price, at the right times, when it's needed? But all this will require a lot of user cases where we can take it to a different level with government and showing them what can we do with the metaverse in a bigger challenge if we talk about food security.
Absolutely. So I can tell you one thing. First of all, it is really amazing to be part of this, what's happening now. Because in all the use cases, I've never looked into the FBMG business. And I took my research and I understood actually the importance of food supply, what level that is. We're talking, this is the same level like energy. It's one of the most important parts for each country to have a stable food. So, but when it comes to metaverse, I have an idea how we follow up the steps. Step one is lower costs on several existing procedures. With the lowering cost, we raise the efficiency. With the efficiency, we develop revenue. The step one will always be lower costs, have a more efficient communication, and then slowly explore and investigate where is the potential. When I came here today and I had a small chat, sometimes the idea falls in my face, it shuts my head. For example, in every market research, you need to test your products, which is a hassle. Let's say I have a shelf, I put all my products in there, I have to go there. How can I measure the behavior of the consumer? That's really a challenge. In the metaverse, I can do the same shelf, I can place all the products, I can get the avatars, I can measure exactly where he looks, how long he looks, what he does, how he moves, and I have a digital result within seconds and can optimize my settings. This is in the real world almost impossible. You need a lot of cameras, a lot of stuff. And the costs for it are literally nothing. This is just one idea which happens. I'm so sure and confident once you establish this path in your organization, that you do this technology, use it, you will wake up every day, it comes to your head, you go, oh, wow, that's possible. Nobody knows because we don't have it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It happens to me every day. I wake up, I go like, and so simple things.
One challenge, I think, Sam, I don't know if you see it as a challenge, pushing people to buy the VR or the Oculus. As I told you, with my case, my kids were laughing. What are you going to buy? What is this for business? So how can you convince people that this is really for business? And do you think that's what happened in our generation or the second generation? We know that this evolving and transformation is happening. We cannot stop it. But do you think people will start buying it, do their shopping through their Oculus? This is what we are talking about.
I want to tell you something. It's something I believe since years. That's why I'm doing the business. I have a picture. I have a vision. If you use the Oculus, you have maybe already explored spatial video.
Yes.
Yeah. This is amazing, isn't it?
Well,
You've not even seen the best quality. The quality which is available here is mid-class. Today you can produce it 10 times better. I'm so sure that the World Championship Soccer 2026 in the US, Canada and Mexico will be broadcasted live in spatial VR formats for people to join the games. Take my word on that.
26.
They are preparing that. And if you look, you see, now we talk about gaming device, but let's say imagination. Just imagination. When 2026, Meta and the big companies say, we have a media device, media device, which gives you the access to such events, everybody will buy it for a price of $250. You'll run for it. And you can see it today. Imagine you take the device and you can choose one of 7 spots in the soccer game behind the goal. I saw this in the Vision Pro. It's crazy. You're gonna get like, wow, the balls are flying to you, yeah? This experience you can have at home. You can follow your team, not even being in the country or on the continent. And they will turn the whole industry from one moment to the other. This is my vision on this. That's why I'm doing this business. I can see this in front of my eyes. They will turn all this VR thing into media. Because this is the most powerful media device you can imagine. You take this, you have the screen in cinema format. You can collaborate. You can join games, theater. You can make business. You can explore. We are in the beginning.
So I do have the same feeling and belief, especially for the new generations. And I see my kids. My kids, that will be really what they are dreaming of, to have this for their shopping and their day-to-day. And they wouldn't be having a problem to accept it, doing business. But I think for the older generations, it might be requiring some extra push. And especially when it comes for putting the Oculus in your head for 1 hour. You know, that is a little bit annoying, challenging, and sometimes give you a headache. This is what I hear, and this is what I experience when using it. You cannot put it in your head for more than, I would say, 30 minutes, 40? Depends about how you used to it.
I can explain you exactly what's the point, what happens here. I can tell it's very clear. First, users always need some time to experience. It's like go diving. Yeah. First, it's like, but when it comes later, actually, to the motion sickness, is what you mean. It's motion sickness. Motion sickness is caused by a lack of frame rates. That means if the frame rate of the simulation, which you see in the device, drops more than several times under 60 frames per second, your brain doesn't really can adopt the information, and then you get motion sickness. That happens when the app is better developed. I can be very proud on our app. Our app remains on 75 frames per second easily.
Okay.
We don't have this problem because we put a lot of effort exactly in this problem. Then there is still a percentage in the public, let's say 2-3%, they will always have problems because they have a problem with 3D views, especially sport people. Because you know what makes a good soccer player? That he has the capacity to see objects and distance and short and can assume where they're going to be. These people have a very sensible 3D view. They have problems. They get immediately like, oh, I don't feel well. But in the majority, it works well if everything is done. And we have done sessions, 1.5 hours, 2 hours. Even when I made the first introduction with your team, we were 1 hour easily. Nobody recognized that. If the thing is done well and the content is good and we take care of how you create the
experience.
And the experience is nice.
The most important.
We never forget one thing. If you build experience for somebody, you are in power of the experience. We are the ones who create the environment. So we have to be very careful, very smart, very slowly evolving. Be careful. Don't make crazy things because you're wearing something and I have to be responsible. I cannot harm your health because you can literally harm people's health. You can do so crazy things or bad things. And bad experiences. Yeah. It's his responsibility. There's a high, and there's, by the way, there's a huge missing rules and regulations and this, yeah. Yes. Because there's a lot of power in this tool. Data-wise, you can track everything. Content-wise, there's a lot of power which is unregulated. A lot of homework, sir. A lot of homework.
I know. It's really exciting time we're going through. Before we close, I want to ask you, Sam, what do you think the biggest challenge, I would say, facing Metaverse potential to come out?
Well, I see, actually, it is there already. There's no big challenge anymore. It is more the confidence to walk forward and to, right now, everyone is in his own responsibility to create good content. We need more regulations. We need laws, regulations on what happens in there. This is a challenge and it has to happen fast. It should have been done 5 years ago.
So confident?
You have to be confident for what you do, but we need regulations from the other side. It has to be, the more people have this, the more dangerous it gets. And I've taught this for years. We need regulation on this thing because nobody takes it serious. And one day, they just appear everywhere.
Have you approach anybody to talk about unifying the procedure, the regulations, and the UAE government, or not yet?
Here and there, but nobody heard me.
No, I think if we have our case presented properly, and we have a chance in Future Food to do it together and present our case and show the audience, our members, government will be there, what Metaverse hold for all of us, public, private, and consumer. In the Future Food, I think we have a good chance to convince the government to set the right regulations for the future of Metaverse.
I'm all yours.
Thank you very much, Sam, for being with us. And we will be having surprises and initiatives which will be announcing it, inshallah, in the Future Food. Thank you all for being with us.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Sam.